Good morning and welcome to another video. It's about 6:30 in the morning. It is absolutely freezing. As you can see, very misty this morning, foggy. I've crunched across the cat ice in the field because the field is more like a water meadow than a field, to come and have a go at this river for quite 3 hours tops this morning. Because last time out we had that glorious roach. If you've not seen that video, that was the previous video. I'll link you up there in the description below as well, or you can head on over to the channel and just check out the previous video. That was 5 days ago. The river since then has been right up again, right in the fields, and it's dropping back off lovely. It looks a cracking colour. We've got about that much visibility, which is perfect for a nice roach. The slack where I took the roach from is over there. Now I should mention, just to put a little bit of perspective on things, I've had a roach around £1.5 pounds. The one I had in the last video was 111. I've had just one every season for the last 3 seasons, so the odds are not good that we'll have another one. However, conditions look great. The only thing not in our favour is the rain when we had it that brought this river right up again just after the last session was cold rain. It was about 5 degrees. The river was about 8 or 9 degrees. So that's been a few days ago though, so perhaps the fish have had a chance to acclimatise. Anyway, we didn't get up at stupid o'clock to waffle. We'll have a go in a few swims. I'm going to bait, I think, 3 swims. This one, of course, where we had that roach. The one where I had my PB chub off this stretch, the video before that. And then perhaps we'll do another swim a bit further down. But for now, I'm going to get a little bit of bait in here. As I say, we'll nip off and just bait up one more swim as well, just while we let this one settle. Now, of course, won't go anywhere without some mashed bread, so we're going to mash bread this morning. I've got bread and worms for the hook, and that's your lot. Right, let's get a bit of bait in over there. It's a little bit boily over there, just a little bit. God, it's absolutely treacherous here. We're going to have to be careful. That's better. I think we're better off about there. Right, I'm not going to put too much in. That's plenty. Just 4 sort of large marble-sized balls. Right, I say we'll let this settle for 10 minutes. We'll get off downstream, just bait up one more swim. Then we'll come back and have a go. I do fancy doing this swim at dawn. That's the plan. Right, let's head off downstream. We've got a bit of a slack in the edge here, and that crease, video before last, is where I had my PB from this stretch chub of 3.9. So just wondering if there'll be any more down there. It's not the most productive swim in the world, this. I've not fished it before that session when I had the PB. I've not fished it for a while, but it does seem to be much better when the water's up, and it's at a very similar level to that day. So yeah, I'll just put a few bits of mash in. We'll come back and fish this perhaps in maybe 45 minutes, something like that. Right, I think that'll do for now. We'll get back, get cracking before the light levels get up too much. Now the other swim we might have a go at is much further downstream, so I've not baited that one up. I really wanted to get cracking in here whilst these light levels are low. That's exactly why I came out, really. I saw on the weather forecast last night there's going to be fog, so I thought, yeah, fog then an overcast sky, we'll have a crack. Because we've got this fast water under our feet and slack over there. We're going to get the rod tip up, keep it out of the, keep the line out of all the faster water. So, because we've got a bit of flow on here, it's a little bit turbulent over there, just a little bit. I'm going to use a 2-ounce feeder, as I normally would, but I'm going to use a gripper feeder rather than the plug-it feeders I'd normally use. I think this will hold a bit better. Want a nice short hook link, or effective length between feeder and bait, because we're fishing in a slack over there. This is my standard running ledger rig. I'll link you in. It's very adjustable. I'll link you into a video I made of how to tie this up. I'll link you in up there so you can go and have a look as I say, how I tie this up. It's very adjustable for roving around different swims. I'll link it in the description below as well. Gear wise, I've got my power mesh £1.25 12-foot rod. I've got the it's a twin tip rod. This I've got the quiver tip in, of course. Quiver tip top section, I should say. Right, first cast of the day. That's pretty much where I would have put it in if I could have put it in by hand. So that's cracking. Right, eyes on the tip. Hopefully that tip's up high enough. Hopefully you can see it up there, silhouetted against the sky. I have got a 3-ounce feeder. See, that's moving already. I was going to say, if we need a 3-ounce feeder, I have got a 3-ounce feeder. That's just trundled a little bit, that has, which is not great. Love mornings like this. It's very evocative. Reminds me of when I was a kid, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Misty summer mornings. No, this is getting dragged out of position. Right, I'm going to have to move this round a little bit, or we're going to have to put a heavier feeder on. Right, let's try again. To say if it won't hold, we'll have to get a heavier feeder on. Just go a little bit further that time. Don't really want to fish with 3 ounces. An option is to pay a bow line out, but really sort of numbs the bites a little bit. God, this is proper tanking through today. I'm surprised. It is holding. I think perhaps that's not the one today. It's just been a big boil over there. The fish are not going to want to sit in that. That being that, and the sun trying to come out, I think what I'm going to do is have a move. I'm going to get a bit of bait in to the left here, and there's another slack down to our left. I'm just going to get a little bit in over there, a little bit of mash just in there. I think the sun really is trying to break through, so with nothing happening here, I think we'll move on. Try and catch that other swim whilst it's still a relatively low light. Well, unfortunately, it's turning into a rather beautiful morning. To be honest, it's exactly why I got up at 5:45 this morning. Because I do know with these weather forecasts, they forecast it to be overcast and half the time it clears. Unfortunately, it's exactly what's happened. But not unexpectedly, it's been quite hard going. Not at all surprised we've not had a bite in that first swim. Thinking about these cold nights we've had. Right, we'll have a go in this other swim we baited up. Again, I've come in here and it's lovely and slack for several minutes, then suddenly it all boils up. Again, not an ideal place. Fish not necessarily going to want to sit there. But we'll have a go. Probably not going to give it too long, to be honest, today, with this weather turning like this. With the weather turning for the better. I'm just going to drop this in just over there by that crease. Like I say, it does keep boiling up, unfortunately. By boiling up, I mean all that turbulent water you can see in front of me here. Fish don't really want to sit in that. They don't mind sitting in the flow, necessarily. Fish like chub. Obviously barbel. There's no barbel up here. And roach to a certain degree as well. Don't mind a bit of flow. But they don't want to sit in all that turbulent water there. What I found previously on this stretch is when the river's been up, like it has been all winter, up and down, up and down, up and down. The fish get into the slacks when it's flooded, when it's banging through. They don't really want to get out again very quickly. So often when the river becomes fishable, like it is now, they're still hanging about in all the slacks. Which is generally, well, sort of target them in these conditions. This is still relatively high, this is. But it's just that height on the local gauge where I thought, yeah, that's the right height. It'll just be starting to clear. All right, there we go. Oh my God, how we missed that. Well, we've had a bite. How on earth I missed that, I have no idea. It was still going round. It may be, as I've mentioned on previous videos, it may be this hook. I've got a size 12 on. Because I'd rather miss a few chub bites and catch some cracking roach than the other way around. You know, if I'm fishing with a size 6, it's going to be a struggle for a roach to get that in its mouth, and that's not what I want. But if I was solely fishing for chub, I certainly would have a size 6 on. Right, well that gives us some hope as well anyway, doesn't it? I'm not sure how I missed that. It was still going round when I struck. Maybe it was a nice roach and I didn't give it long enough to get the bait in his mouth properly. I can but hope. But it's getting very sunny, as you can probably see from that far bank. I think our time is limited this morning, weather-wise. The water's fairly coloured though, so that will certainly help. I'm going to find out what this is. I'm now suspecting a chub. I think if it was a roach we'd have hooked up by now. But we'll persevere with this little hook. I'll put on a smaller piece of bread flake. We'll perhaps let it develop a bit more. Assuming we get another bite, of course. Right, come on. That's a bit too far. There we go. Just drag that back. Right, come on. The sun's gone in, fortunately. A bit of cloud over there on the horizon where it's coming up. It's gone in. So it's keeping the light levels down a little bit at the moment. It's keeping it pretty chilly as well. There we go. Finally. It certainly is a chub by the feel of it. Oh, I don't know though, it's rattling its head about. Feels like a chub, to be fair. He's fighting far too hard to be a roach. Right, he's putting up a scrap. Oh, it's a cracking chub, that's why. Come on. Come on. Oh, that's a nice chub. Wow. Fantastic. Well, it was a chub after all, as suspected with all those missed bites. Well, worth getting up this morning. It almost done my venue PB again. Almost. I don't think it's the same fish. I seem to remember that fish had a little mark on its side. But this is 3.8. Absolutely fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Thank you very much, chap. Absolutely cracking. I'm over the moon with that. That's brilliant. Worth getting up. Right. We'll get him in the edge here. Rest him up. See if we can winkle out another one. So, if I had to guess, I'd say all those bites were from him, being very cagey, being very cute, but you never know. Worth a bit longer in here before we have a move. As I say, it would explain the missed bites as well. Big old cavernous mouth of a chub, size 12. Don't really go together very well. Right, let's see if we have any more action down here. Quite often on this stretch though, it's one and out. You have one fish and that's that. But you never know, and that's why we're going to keep him in this net just for a few minutes down here. Just see if he's down there with his mates. Oh God, I mean, like a block of ice. No, there's nothing else going on there. Plenty more swims to have a go at, so we'll have a move. I'll get this fella back. If he hasn't let him get himself go already. No, there he is. Go on then, chap, off you go. Cracking. That's a lovely fish from this stretch. As I say, a near PB from this stretch. And I think a different fish. That's wonderful. So next up, I'm just dropping into a swim, which I've only started fishing really fairly recently. So I dropped in here first when the river was right up, probably another half a metre on this, or maybe 2 foot, something like that, 18 inches. And it's just a nice slack behind this bit of cover that I got here. There's a nice slack formed. And of course that big bit of cover as well. So I think worth a go in here for perhaps 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll drop in just above this bush as well. Sometimes good for a bite. And it's picking up now though, which is not great because it's still pretty cold. Just drop that in down there. A bit of a pull down there. Got the baiting next to the cover and it ends up over there somewhere. That's just a nice crease coming off there though, so we'll see if we do anything in here. We've not baited up in here or anything, so we'll give it perhaps 15-20 minutes maybe, just see if anyone's at home. Well, there's certainly a lot of fish in this little slack behind this tree, but I think they're all about 2 ounces looking at the tip. Banging away. We're in. Blimey. I wasn't expecting that. It was a tiny little tappy rattly bite. It's just staying low. A very strange bite. Sure it's a chub trying to get in the edge. Staying very deep. Just plugging away, trying to get in the edge. God, what? I've not seen him yet. He's just plugging away. Here's a chub, I think. He's not even very big. What a scrap. I mean, he's not small. Oh, it's a nice fish actually. That would explain it. Blimey, looks like he's had a very close encounter with an otter as well, looking at his tail. Well, there we are, another cracking fish. And that is one ottered tail if ever I've seen one. He's had a very lucky escape. Well done. Keep safe. Right, I think I'm going to get him straight back. I think we'll have a move. I'm going to move just the other side of this bit of cover here. We'll get him in the edge, just let him rest up for a second. And then we'll have a move just the other side of this bush here. Right, I say we'll get him straight back. I don't think we're going to get another bite in there. These swims are usually 1 and out, but we will just nip just the other side of this bit of cover. I'll go in there before we get off. God, this water is like ice. God, blimey. So I've had just a little wander downstream and I've come across this here. We've got a bit of cover to our left here, this tree. It's not particularly in the water, but there are some sort of reeds down there. But there's also over there's a bit of cover. You can probably see that all those eddies, those swirls. And there's a bit of slack of water in here. A bit of slack of water in front of us here. I just thought, worth 10 minutes. I've never tried it before, never fished in here. I don't often wander down this far. Not far from the bottom of this stretch here. Well, I certainly think it's worth a few minutes. It's just a nice sort of bit of slack in there. I'm not going to go far out. How deep is it? Oh, there's some depth in there. Blimey, some depth in there. Well, that gives me even more confidence. Well, hope more than confidence. Well, nothing to be confident about. I don't know this swim at all. But it's certainly worth a go. It's a little bit concerned about all the swirls, all the eddies, but looking at the tip, it's not too turbulent down the bottom. Definitely worth 10 minutes in here. I think we'll perhaps have 10 minutes in here, and then we'll finish off in that swim we started in. It's had a couple of hours now since we fished it, certainly an hour and a half. Alright. Well, we had a bite. We have had a bite. Difficult striking in here with that tree there. Let's move around a bit. We won't get as good an indication, but we put in a better strike. Oh, that's cracking. I was saying that's what you want from a swim you've never fished before, an indication. Indication first cast as well. Right. Certainly some depth down there. Just have to remember this one. Right. Right, I think time for a move. It's about 9:30. We've had one bite in here, sort of rattly bite, and then nothing else. But, you know, I never fished in here before. It was worth the go. As it turned out, it wasn't worth the go, but I now know there's a bit of depth in here as well, which is good. So we'll perhaps come and try it again in future. This morning was always going to be tough anyway. You can't really judge a swim on how it's going to be today, to be honest. So we've come back for another little go in this pool in the middle here. As you can see, the sun's out now. It's not ideal conditions at all. But we'll have a little go in here just for 10 minutes. So we're working our way back to the car. I've sat in a slightly different position just to give myself a little bit of a better angle to that slack over there. Often fish the slack a bit further to the left, but it keeps boiling up, that slack does, so dropped a bit further down this time. Because it does seem to be less boily in front of us there. That looked like a tap straight away. I'd say we'll give it 10 minutes in here, and then we'll perhaps try one more swim on the way back. 10 minutes will certainly be enough in here as we put some bait in at the beginning and we fished it for a while. We'll certainly know within 10 minutes if we're going to get a bite like that. There we go. Look at that. Can you believe it? Didn't take long, did it? After sitting in here for ages and ages earlier, not getting a bite. Well, certainly a chub the way he's trying to get us in the edge. I think, anyway. Very shaky head. Yeah, it looks like a chub. Looks like a nice one as well. God, let's put a scrap in this fast water. Blimey. Oh, he's a nice fish. God. Come on. Oh, that's a cracker. That's the hat trick. Wonderful. Well, that's about him in the morning sunshine. Another absolutely cracking Warwickshire Stour chub. Wonderful stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. Didn't take long in here either, did it? Right. I think with that, we're going to get him straight back. We'll go try one more swim on the way back to the car. Often it's one and out in here, and we've fished this for quite a long time now, with sort of earlier and then just dropping back into it now. So I've got him rested up in the net down here, and I just had a bit of a change of heart and thought we'll carry on in here for 10 or 15 minutes rather than trying a different swim. We've had some bait in here now, haven't we? And that bite was very, very quick. So it may well be that we can winkle another fish out of here. It's usually one and out in this river, but you know, you never know. We might be able to get another one out. So I think rather than sort of trying a new swim that we haven't baited, we'll have 10 or 15 minutes in here before we call it a day. I'll make my mind up in a minute. Give it a chance to have 10 minutes, get its breath back as well. But we will. I am only going to give it 10 minutes though. We really do need to go. It's around about 10 o'clock now. We're getting on for. Well, there's quite a lot of debris coming down this river for a drop-in river. I've got a little stuff caught on the line there, and a big twig. Look, right. I'm going to call it a day there. That's been a lovely session. I've really enjoyed that. We didn't catch a big roach, but not in the slightest bit unexpected. But it was worth a go. We had 3 cracking chub. Certainly not complaining about that. Absolutely fantastic. 3 decent fish, certainly for this stretch. So I'm going to make tracks. It's gone 10 o'clock now, so I really need to go. Right, he's rested up. Back you go, chap. I'll come back and catch you when you're bigger. Don't want to leave us. Straight into the rushes. Yeah, as I say, absolutely cracking. Really, really enjoyed that. God, slipping all over the place here. Yeah, it's been nice to get out this morning. I don't often get out at dawn, so it's been nice to get out this morning. But yeah, sun unfortunately came out. I think we might have done a little bit better, perhaps, if it hadn't come out. But the river here is, I've done the water temperature, and it's 4.2. Now, to put that into context, that's not particularly a bad temperature, or a bad temperature for February either. But to put it into context, last week, before this cold rain came and these 2 frosty nights, it was up at 9 degrees. So it's had a big hit. So that's why it wasn't the easiest today, and that's why we've not had loads and loads of little rattly bites. We've just had bites off bigger fish. So clearly the bigger fish are on it. But yeah, it's not been easy. But like I say, we've done the hat trick of chub, so that's been absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I'm waffling. Time to go home. Now, the Avon is still in the field, so goodness knows when we can get down there. I might try and get up here within the next few days, do a different stretch, a stretch that's more suitable when it's a little bit lower. I've also got a couple of tickets on the Arrow to have a go at as well, so do fancy having a go there, a bit of an explore on that stretch, or those stretches I should say. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you again very soon.